Hello everyone, White Box here with another special edition of Spirit Island. I know it's been a long time since I posted anything. I've been very busy with life stuff coming up, and I'm going to continue being busy. But I'm going to try to make a little bit more time for Spirit Island, especially now that I've got my copy of Nature Incarnate. So that's going to be my first new video coming up right now, is unboxing this, because I haven't actually opened it up yet. And then I'll try to get a game going with one of these new spirits and see how I do. So that's my goal for really the next couple weeks. I want to get one game in with each of the new spirits, probably just testing against Brandon Prussia level 4 for a nice baseline with everybody. And then I'll start working on probably some aspect games, aspects and spirits, and we'll see how it goes from there. So that'll really cover a while, because it'll be, there are 8 new spirits, so it'll be a couple months before I get through everybody. But let's go ahead and open this up and see how everything looks. Now, I've watched all the previews and everything, the backer kit stuff, but I know other people have been getting their copies earlier than I did. I did not get the tokens, just the game, but I know there are other people still waiting for their copies as well, so I'm not going to complain that other people got theirs first. Only a little bit salty. So I have not watched anybody else's videos about their copy of Spirit Island, so I didn't get FOMO for not having mine yet. So this is all new to me, so we'll see what everything looks like here. So we've got this board. I'm not going to punch everything out on this video, I'll do that after. But I think we've got, let's see, we've got the Space of Darkness for the new, wow, I can't remember the spirit name, it's been a while. The new Darkness spirit seen here. I've got these Thunder tokens for the new Thundering Earthquake spirit. I think these are for the ocean aspect. These are Vitality tokens, which I think are used by Towering Tree. Wow, I'm going to have to get used to the new spirit names because I don't have them memorized yet, but we'll see them here in just a second. New stuff for the new Habsburg mining colony, and then all the Incarna tokens. So that's cool. So I'll take a look and punch those out in a little bit. I've also got, well, neater. So let's see. So I've got the new Habsburg mining expedition. I guess there's also scenarios. I haven't looked at the scenarios, so I don't know what those are. I also need to do some games with Habsburg, but I'm going to wait until I go through all the spirits first before I get into the new adversary. So Habsburg mining expedition. I've also got a scenario here of Destiny Unfolds. So yeah, let's see. Spirits of the primordial deeps, too removed from the land to help directly in the conflict, have led you through a crucible of fate, where you both discover and create the potentials within yourself for growing greater. May it be enough. Interesting. Before the initial explorer, each player drafts power cards into their destiny in 2 rounds following that table below. No communication is allowed during a round, but discussion before each round is fine. So I guess you get to like share power cards and stuff. That's interesting. Okay, cool. And then surges of colonization. Instead of a steady flow of colonists, the invaders send larger expeditions in surging waves of exploration, settlement, and exploitation. Spirits get a bit of breathing room between each wave, but their size may prove overwhelming. Cool. And that's difficulty +2/+7. So I guess you can do larger services for a higher difficulty. +7 difficulty is significant. So that's a lot. Okay. I don't usually play scenarios. I actually have not played all of the scenarios from the previous expansions, but might have to take a look at those. Those seem interesting. Okay, set those aside. Let's take a look at the spirits. That's what we're here for, really, is new spirits. So we've got Dances Up Earthquakes. This one looks really cool. I'm excited to play it. It's a very high complexity. I've tried not to be spoiled, so I haven't watched anybody else's playthroughs of this spirit. I have heard that the very high is maybe a little deceptive, and that they're more like a very high learning curve, but easy to master is kind of what I've heard. So we'll see. They look really cool. The art for the spirit is one of my favorites, and the concept sounds awesome. So I'm excited to play them. In addition to Dances Up Earthquakes, I've got Ember-Eyed Behemoth, which I'm excited for too. You basically just play a kaiju moving around the island stomping things, so that's going to be fun. Breath of Darkness Down Your Spine. There we go. It's a long one. So this is the one with the that Place of Shadow, Place of Darkness. So this is an interesting one. I'm probably the one I'm least looking forward to, but you know, I'm going to play it for sure. Hearth and Vigil, Dahan Focus Spirit, and their dog. I love dogs. Wounded Waters Bleeding. So that one's an interesting concept. What's the difficulty on this? This is high complexity. Okay. I know they start out with limited choices, so I wasn't sure if it would be moderate or high. Towering Roots of the Jungle. There's my tree guy. So they get the vitality tokens. Wandering Voice Keen's Delirium. So this is the new Strife Spirit. Another high complexity. And then Relentless Gaze of the Sun. I think this is the one I'm most looking forward to, because it's just offense and pew-pewing things. So this one's high as well. I thought this was moderate, but they ended up doing high as well for this one. So this will probably be my first playthrough, so I'm looking forward to it. So got all of that. Let's see what else we got. We got some bags. Yeah, set those aside. I'll find other methods of storage for all this stuff. We've got salt deposits. I think this is for Habsburg. It looks like there's some additional reminder tokens here too. Let's take a look. So salt deposits definitely for Habsburg in some capacity. I haven't looked at Habsburg yet, so I'm not sure. We've got some new reminder tokens, it looks like, for major powers and for scenarios, surges of colonization. Cool. Alright. Set those aside. And then we get 2 cards. So I'm not sure how many cards are included in this. I know there are a few new majors. I don't think there are any new minors, but I could be wrong. This looks like it's spirit powers, unique powers. I should have run a knife or something. I feel like there's... Ah, there is a tab. Okay, if I can grab it. Alright, so these are... Let's see, so we got my unique powers here. I'll set those aside in their own pile. There are some new terms, so we've got some reminder cards, some cheat cards for those. So we've got new terms for here. We've got downgrade, which is replace with the next smallest invader. So that's like Shadow's Flicker like Flame has downgrade. It was just never called downgrade. Same with the Winds major. Wow, it's been a while since I played. I can't remember major powers either. But those both downgrade spirits. It was just never called downgrade until this expansion. There's upgrade as well, which I think affects Habsburg. Bring, prepare. Okay, cool. So those are all the new terms. We've got 6 of those. Since it can be a 6-player game, there is one new minor power. Oh, that's right. So Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn. This replaces Sacrifice. Growth through Sacrifice. That's right. So this will replace Growth through Sacrifice. And then we do have some major powers as well. Actually, a bunch of majors. That's cool. So it looks like about a dozen major powers. I won't go through all of those right now, but I'll take a look at the art at least. So we've got Bargains of Coursing Paths, Bombard with Boulders and Stinging Seeds, Exaltation of the Incandescent Sky. Okay, cool. Flocking Red Talons, looks like a good one for Wounded Waters Bleeding. Fragments of Yesteryear, okay. Inspire the Release of Stolen Lands. Plague Ships Set Sail to Distant Ports. Oh, neat. Okay. Ravaged Undergrowth Slithers Back to Life. Rumbling Earthquakes. Solidify echoes of solidify echoes of majesty past. Okay, interesting. You got art with shifting memory of ages. That's cool. And what's that? Voice Keen's Delirium. That's right. That guy. Neat. Transformative Sacrifice, which is kind of a major power version of Growth Through Sacrifice, which is getting removed. Wrathful Beast of... unearth a Beast of Wrathful Stone. That looks cool. It's like kaiju. Yeah, basically you're using that. And draw towards a Consuming Void. Okay, so I guess that card is getting replaced. I didn't know that. Although actually it's just got the symbol here for Jagged Earth, so I don't know. Interesting. I don't know why that's in here, but I'm sure the rulebook will explain as such. Okay, and then I've got one more deck. And these are going to be my aspects. Among other things, I suppose. So a couple of the aspects I've seen, the ones that were shown on backer kit, but I haven't looked at these others, and I'm going to go through them all. Because I am excited to play them. Some of these especially. It's cool that some of the spirits that haven't really gotten anything do get new aspects. So I've got the special cards here for Wounded Waters Bleeding. Let's set those aside. Oh, there's some new fear cards. That makes sense. Actually, a bunch of new fear cards. Wow. I wonder if any old ones are getting replaced. Don't know for sure. It's going to be a challenge fitting all of these cards in my box. I may end up having to find a new storage solution for the time being. A bunch of new events. Okay, cool. Cool. So we'll find those out in the course of play. I think what I'm going to do for my first couple games is just use the new events and new Blighted Island cards. I know the balance of that, of just using the new stuff, is not the best, but that way I can see all of the new events and new Healthy Island cards, Blighted Island cards, before I start mixing everything in together. Alright, neat. And then I've got my aspects. Let's take a look at all of these. And obviously, if you don't want to be spoiled on any of the aspects, feel free to stop watching right now and skip ahead to my my outro until when I sign off here today. But I'll still go through these. So we've got Dark Fire, which is going to be for Shadows Flicker Like Flame. It replaces Shadows of the Dahan. Okay. You gain the Unquenchable Flames minor power, which I like. Darkened Fire is 1. You may treat each moon available to you as being fire or vice versa. Choose during each action for each moon or fire that you have. You may discard or forget powers that grant moon to pay for fire choice events and vice versa. That's cool. Frightful Shadows elude destruction. The first time each action would destroy your presence, you may push one of those instead of destroying it. And you get a bonus fire or moon. Okay. Interesting. Increases to complexity for them. Then we've got Ocean. So we've got Deeps. Let's go ahead and just put those there. That'll be a little easier. So these replace the innate power of Ocean Break the Shore. Now this is what all those Ocean tokens are for. So they get 2 powers. Oh, so they replace both their innate powers for Ocean, actually. So you replace Pound Ships to Splinters and Ocean Breaks the Shore. They both increase the complexity. Ocean's already a high complexity spirit, so that's interesting. And these add those, I don't know what they'd be called, to add floods? Deeps? Deeps tokens, I guess. So add 1 Deeps token, add Deeps token to a different one, then you can do damage per Deeps. Eventually you can, if at least, well, let's read this part. So if at least 3 Deeps are present and no buildings are present, then you drown all Explorers or Dahan. Push all but 2 of those Deeps tokens. Target land becomes permanently part of the ocean on its board. Flip all remaining Deep tokens. They are reminder tokens for the expanded ocean. Oh yeah, look at that. So they look different on the back. Cool. Alright, that one's interesting for sure. We've got Encircle. I know this one is for Sharp Fangs Behind the Leaves. So it's supposed to just make it a little easier to... Or maybe there's another one that makes it easier. This one, complexity is the same. So it replaces Ally of the Beasts with Rain and replaces Ranging Hunt. Oh, okay. Powers get +1 range for targeting lands with beasts. That's very, very good, actually. Pack hunting. Encircle the unsuspecting prey. You may gather one beast into target or an adjacent land. If you do, 1 damage in that land. If at least 2 beasts are within 1 range, 1 damage. And for each adjacent land with beasts, 1 damage. Okay, so that's really cool. So Encircle, instead of having all of your beasts stacked up to do damage, you want to have your beasts kind of spread out around lands, and then you do damage based on that. That's cool. That's a very much a change in playstyle, but one that I'm excited to try out. Alright, we've got Enticing, so this is going to be for Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares. Again, complexity equal. So it replaces the innate of Night Terrors, which just does fear. And it replaces it with Enticing and Lulling Dreams. Each invader or Dahan does -1 damage while on target land. Gather up to 1 explorer or town, and each invader and Dahan does -1 damage in target land, and gather up to 4 explorers and towns. Okay, so you basically can just keep them from doing damage. Interesting. Make that land nice and peaceful. Haven. So this one is for River Surges and Sunlight. Replaces the innate power Massive Flooding, which is a big change because Massive Flooding is kind of all what River is based around. But it increases the complexity. Call to a Sunlit Haven. E is the highest uncovered number on your energy track. You can defend a land E. So I think the energy track for River goes up to 4. Usually you don't go energy, so yeah, I'll double check that. I think it's 4. So defend 4, pretty good. In an adjacent land with your presence, defend 4. In target land with or an adjacent land with your presence, gather up to 4 Dahan, again assuming that it's 4. And remove up to 4 health worth of invaders. Okay, that's interesting. Intensify. Who's this for? This is for Shifting Memory of Ages. So this is my wife's favorite spirit, so maybe this will make them even more interesting for her. So we've got Intensify replaces special role insights into the world's nature. So that's the one that gives you tokens, I believe. Intensify through understanding. You may spend element markers to modify your actions. Max 1 of each marker per action. Okay. So for Sun, you add 1 Strife or 1 Badlands. For Moon, you replace or remove 1 piece. That's interesting. For +1 piece. Okay. For Fire, you do +1 damage. For Moon, or for Air, you use a minor power. Okay. For Water, you move +1 piece. For Earth, you defend +2. It's a defense card. For Plants, you add 2 Wilds or 2 Destroyed Presence. Okay. And for Beast, you add 1 Disease or 1 Beast. That's really cool. So you can just kind of do more stuff with the powers that you already have. I like that. Lair. Okay, so this is for Lure of the Deep Wilderness. So put your Incarna in an inland land on your starting board. Replace 3 presents. Replaces your Forsake, and yeah, replaces both your innate power and your special rule, which is Enthrall, where fewer invaders participate in the Ravage. So a single alluring lair. Invaders, Dahan, beasts, presence of any spirit at your presence, or at your Incarna, cannot move. You can reposition Incarna by adding it with your second growth option instead of adding presence. That makes sense. 6 invaders, or 6 explorers, and 3 Dahan at your Incarna don't participate in Ravage. Okay, so that's why it replaces that Enthrall. And then you've got Society dissolves at the Beckoning Heart, targets your lair. For every 3 explorers or Dahan, downgrade a different town or city. That's cool. You can gather stuff there, and once for every 6 explorers or Dahan present, gather any invader within, I guess that's within the number of air that you have. Gather any invader within air, so I guess it's however many air you have, 1 land towards your lair. Neat. Cool. Cool. Yeah, that's interesting. Hmm. Okay. Locust, one of two. So I think this is Serpent, yeah. So I think Serpent is the other one that gets an Incarna. So in this case, your setup is replace Elemental Aegis and Pull Beneath the Hungry Earth, minor power. Wait. Replace Elemental Aegis with Pull Beneath the Hungry Earth, which is the minor power. Okay, it's a good minor power for Serpent. Put your Incarna and the presence from the fire space of your growth track on your starting board in land number 5. Okay. Spirits with Absorb Presence can use your presence or at your Incarna for targeting. Your Incarna doesn't count towards your Deep Slumber limit. Okay. And after uncovering the Earth space of your tracks, you empower your Incarna. So that happens, it's relatively quick, depending on how you're playing them. Okay. And then Locust 2 of 2. You replace Serpent Wakes in Power with Strength of the Waking Island. After a spirit uses a land targeting power card, they may repeat it at your Incarna by paying its cost. I'm going to have to get used to these symbols and stuff, but at your Incarna, or at your Locust, I guess, by paying its cost. You may help pay some or all of this cost. That's cool. Okay. And add either, so you get Vitality. That's neat. Okay, so add 1 Vitality at your Incarna. If a spirit has 2 or more Absorb Presence, you may instead add 1 Vitality in one of their lands without blight. Also pretty cool. Nice. So that's neat. Mentor, I know, is another one for Shifting Memory of Ages. So it replaces your special role Long Ages of Knowledge, yeah, blah blah blah. It replaces your innate power Observe the Ever-Changing World. That's the one that lets you get tokens, that's right. Or so past teachings spring forth unbidden. When you gain power cards, draw 2 fewer cards, minimum 2, and gain 1 of them. Normally you would draw 2 cards and gain both. Gain 1 more of them, excuse me. So, okay, that's interesting. There are some cards that let you like draw 6, so you would be able to draw 4 and keep 2 of them potentially. But in most cases, if you're just gaining power cards, you would draw 2 and keep both. That's interesting. And that applies to majors, I guess, too. So forget only 1 power card when gaining major powers. Neat. It does replace Long Ages of Knowledge, so you don't get to just discard instead of forgetting. But you only have to forget 1 to gain 2 major powers, so that's still pretty good. And then share Mentorship and Expertise. Put a power card from your hand or discard into target spirit's hand. Wow, and from discard, that's really good for tempo. Target spirit may now play that power card by paying its cost. Target spirit may repeat that power card once this turn by paying its cost. And prepare 1 element marker matching an element on that power card. Prepare 1 element marker of your choice. Very cool. Okay, that will be a fun one. Nourishing, this is for Earth, right? Yeah, Vital Strength of the Earth. Replaces Earth's Vitality, and set up, you replace Year of Perfect Stillness, which is a little overpriced for what it does most of the time, with Voracious Growth, which is a minor power. Okay. So Flourish with Nature's Strength. After you gain a major power, gain a minor power. That's cool. Imbue with Nourishing Vitality. Gather up to 1 Dahan, add 1 Vitality. So a couple different aspects that use Vitality tokens. That's cool. Each Dahan has +2 health while in target land. And if target land has at least 2 Dahan, add 1 Dahan. Ooh. I like adding Dahan. So another spirit that can add Dahan is pretty fun. You can play that with River and just have massive amounts of Dahan. Cool. Regrowth. This is for Spread of Rampant Green. Okay, cool. Complexity goes up. Complexity went up with the previous couple as well. Replaces Steady Regeneration and the Innate Power All-Enveloping Green, which is the defense card. Setup, take 13 broken, or 13, what do they call it? Remove presence? Destroyed presence? Yeah, 13 presents that have been destroyed. Use scenario markers or presence of another color. Okay. Unbelievable regrowth. Okay, so target land, jungle, or wetland. This power may target any terrain. And you can add one, add one, add one. So you can potentially get a lot of presence back on the board very quickly once you get all these elements going. Just takes a little longer to get there than just always adding extra presence with steady regeneration. Interesting. I think there is another aspect for green as well, so we'll see. Sparking is for Lightning Swift Strike. Another 2-card one. Ooh, it's got good art. Oh, it's a new card. That's interesting. So it replaces your innate power, Thundering Destruction, which is tough to replace, but that's okay. Setup, replace Raging Storm with Smite the Land with Fulmination. So Gift of Sparking Sky. Once this turn, after target spirit uses a power that targets a land, they may do 1 damage to each invader in that land. Okay. Target spirit gains a minor power, and target spirit may play a power card by paying its cost. Smite the Land with Fulmination. It's a 2-cost power. 1 damage, add 1 Badlands. Cool. Alright, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm going to have to think about that one and maybe play it to see how it works in practice. Spreading Hostility, I think, is for Keeper. Yeah, Keeper of the Forbidden Wilds. Alright, so you replace the rightmost growth option. Lowers your energy income. Setup changes, gain 1 energy. Complexity goes up. Lands hostile. So Keeper's interesting. Keeper is very strong, but does tend to have a very static growth pattern in the beginning of the game. You want to get that double growth on turn 2 so you can get to 4 energy and 2 card plays, which at that point you can do anything you want. So I guess this is trying to break that apart a little bit and make it so you can't do that, since it replaces that second presence adding option. But let's see what it does. So lands hostile to humanity. Your presence or sacred sites also count as badlands. Choose for each action. That is fun. Seeds of Teaching sprout and growth. Let's see. Energy numbers on your top track are halved. Round up. Okay. Alright. So you don't get a ridiculous amount of energy anymore. And implacable and spreading enmity. Enmity. Oof, pronunciations are hard. Your rightmost growth option is replaced with Gain Fire, move presence, 1 damage at range 0. And if your sacred sites count as badlands, then 1 damage at range 0 can kill a town if you target one of your badlands. So that's interesting. And you can pretty much always set up a sacred site. Also makes you do more damage with like with your other innate power and with your unique power. So that's interesting. I'll give that a try. Stranded. My least favorite spirit, Shroud of Silent Mist. So replaces special rule Mist, Shift, and Flow. Complexity goes down. One of the few aspects that's done that so far. Mists steadily drift. Up to twice during the fast phase and up to twice during the slow phase, push one of your presence. If helpful, you can use scenario markers to track usage. Stranded in the Shifting Mist, once each fast phase, isolate one of your lands. Okay, alright. I don't know. I don't like mists, so I'm sure it's fine. Tactician, which is for Thunder Speaker. Replaces your rightmost growth option. What's the rightmost growth option on Thunder Speaker? Is that the gain 4 energy option? Can't remember. But you get Adaptable Tactician. This is equal complexity. Your third growth option is replaced by gain 1 of power card, add a presence, gain 1 energy, and gain sun or fire. Now normally for Thunder Speaker you only gain power cards on reclaim and you gain 2 of them. So this is actually potentially good that you get a power card on a growth instead. That will change them quite a bit. Maybe make me like Thunder Speaker a little bit more. Alright, looks like we've got another 2-parter here. This is for Spread of Rampant Green. Tangles. So it replaces your innate power creepers turn to mortar. Setup, replace Gift of Proliferation. Ooh, that's a big change for green. With belligerent and aggressive crops. That's a fun one. So impenetrable tangles of greenery. So you add 1 wilds, push 1 explorer, isolate target land, and downgrade 1 city. Okay, and add another wilds. So lots of ways to add wilds with this one. And belligerent and aggressive crops. Let's see, 1 cost, target lands with towns and cities, add 1 wilds, 1 damage to towns and cities only, and if there are any adjacent wilds, 1 fear, 1 damage to towns and cities only. Okay, neat. Complexity goes up with that one. I've only got a few left here, so almost done with this unboxing video. So we've got Transforming, which is for Heart of the Wildfire. Replaces your innate power, the burn land regrows. Transform rather than consume. When your actions would destroy cities, included by damage, instead, do 2 fear, replace that city with a town and an explorer. Push both invaders. When your actions would destroy a town, including by damage, instead, 1 fear, replace that town with 2 explorers, and then push both invaders. Interesting. And then Exaltation of the Transforming Flame. Target spirit may forget a power card to gain a power card, target spirit may forget a power card to gain a power card and 1 element. You may do likewise. Nice. Target spirit may pay 1 energy to replace 1 blight with 1 badlands in one of their lands. That is cool, and you may do likewise. Alright, I see how that works with replacing the burn land regrows. Okay. And target spirit may replace 1 explorer with 1 beast in one of their lands. You may do likewise. Alright, I'm interested in that one. That complexity goes up as well. Unconstrained, another reduced complexity one. This one is for Sharp Fangs Behind the Leaves. And it replaces the special rule, Call Forth Predators. Instead, you do not add beasts as part of setup, but you get Unconstrained by Ravaged lands. So Ranging Hunt may target lands with Blight. That's a big change, makes them a lot easier. And Predators Arise. Each spirit phase either prepare 1 beast, storing it to your next spirit panel, or add any number of your prepared beasts to one of your lands. Cool. So, yeah, so I like that. I do think that Sharp Fangs is a good spirit as is, but this is a good way to make them easier and more approachable to people who can get stuck by not being able to target lands with Blight very effectively. So that's a cool aspect. Violence. Who's this for? Ooh, Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares. So this could be complexity up or complexity low with others. Okay. I'll read on to see what that means. Replace your innate power. Spirit may yet dream. Set up, gain 1 energy. Replace Dreams of the Dahan with Bat Scout for Raids by Darkness, which is a minor power, which has perfect elements for the spirit. Nightmares of Violence and Death. Card plays on your bottom trot grant twice as many plays during the spirit phase. So this is the one that tries to get you to go down the plays track. These extra card plays can only be used for power cards with damage or destroy instructions. And when To Dream 1,000 Deaths generates fear, you generate 1 additional fear per affected explorer or town. So it goes to 1, 3, 5 instead of 0, 2, 5. Yeah, so currently it's when To Dream 1,000 Deaths generates 0 fear for destroying an explorer, 2 for destroying a town. This changes it to 1 for explorers and 3 for towns. That is potentially really good, actually. Interesting. Okay, that one. It's very, very interesting. Okay, yeah, I'm excited to try that one out. All of these, really. So a lot of new content. And then we get Warrior, which is for Thunderspeaker. So replace your innate power, lead the Furious Assault, set up, replace 1 of your presents with your Incarna, and 1 Dahan. I forgot that this spirit got an Incarna. Replace Manifestation of Power and Glory with Call to Bloodshed, which is a minor power. So I do like that they've learned from the mistake with the Sunlight aspect for River, which got rid of Boon. No. What did it get rid of? It got rid of Boon of Fatality. I think that's what it's called. The one that gives energy per card plays. And the problem with that is that it left River with a 3-card hand, and that's difficult to play and also a little bit boring. Everyone else has at least 4, and you're stuck with 3. So all these incarnates where or all these aspects where they're replacing cards, they're not just getting rid of them, they're replacing them with minor powers, or in some cases, new powers, so that all of these spirits still retain at least 4 starting cards in their hand. And I think that's really smart. That's a good idea. So in this case, we get Warrior Spirit's Raiding Party. When your actions move Dahan and they bring your Incarna, you may deal 1 damage at your warrior, max 1 damage per action. And lead the warriors to battle. Slow. Target lands with your Incarna plus Dahan. 1 fear if towns and cities are present. 1 damage. 1 damage per Dahan. Cool. So yeah, that's interesting. I love Manifestation of Power and Glory, but sometimes it can have a lot of extra damage that you don't need. This may be a little bit more reliable than that, and really it's an innate, so you can use that every turn. So yeah, that is all of the new stuff here. There's also the rulebook, which I'm going to check out because I think there are a few minor changes in there that I need to get used to. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up, read through the rulebook a little bit, and then I might set up for a game with one of these new spirits. I'm really excited. It's a little late here at night, but you know, I just cracked into this, so I can't wait to get going. So I'm sorry that there's been such a gap between videos here, but I'm going to try to be a little bit more consistent. Maybe not every week, but try to do every other week for new content. Like I said, I'm gonna go through all of these new spirits. So that'll be my first 8 videos, all playing against just Brandenburg Prussia 4, just to get used to that. Maybe even 3, since I haven't been playing as much recently. And then I'll start working through the aspects and probably doing some two-handed games with those. So let me know what you want to see here. Let me know what spirit you want to see after Relentless Gaze of the Sun. And I will see you all next time. And thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Good night, everyone.